I mean, I strongly believe when you've got a market leader which is as dominant as Gillette has been for not just a decade, for many, many decades, that it would be completely unthinkable to ignore them and not also to reference yourself against them. I've always believed that if you were going to be a strong challenger brand, you needed to actually have a strong establishment brand, because having a strong establishment brand allows you to have a sense of black versus a sense of white. And clearly, you can't ignore a brand the size of Gillette in your category. I think like any category, there is space for the challenger brand within that category, someone that takes a different approach, whether it's through humour, characteristic, or whether it's just being a little bit feisty. And I think that's the way we've adopted ourselves. I think in our case, doing unconventional things has been kind of the cornerstone of not being able to compete on very large media spends. And we have used conventional media, but we use it in what I would call a relatively unconventional way. We created an ad called We Worry, and this ad really was about the things that we talk about in our office when the consumer's not there and the retailers are not there. The ad itself was written actually in a freehand style and looked like a marked up ad, and that was a fairly deliberate thing to make it look as though we were willing to share our honest thoughts. It was key to us that we wanted to show that as the second or third position brand in the market, there was an acknowledgement the market leader was very dominant, and we wanted to say that we are the number two and we do need to try harder. In trying harder, it's clear that we need to have a higher element of humanity within our brand and really open ourselves and show our vulnerability in many ways to the consumer. Certainly, I think as the underdog in the market, when you're number 3 or number 4, it's really important to have a strong number 1 to be able to compare yourself against. And to be acting in a feisty manner really is the only way, in my belief, is that you can make yourself be noticed, because clearly you don't have enough budget to compete with hundreds of millions of pounds or dollars that these brands have, a brand like Gillette. And so operating in a way where you are more creative, you're often more short-termism, but also you're very stunt and very loud about the things that you do is clearly the way I think you can compete.